This podcast is brought to you by digitallagos.tv.
If it's your lifetime ambition to be a chartered accountant, you know exactly what to study. But if you want to get a job in the media, it's not so simple. So, when your prospective employer looks over your CV, what kind of education and experience are they looking for? A great degree? If so, in what? Or are other things more important than a certificate to get the job of your dreams? Here to tell you what they're looking for when they shortlist are two media professionals, Clare Davies and Daniell Morrisey. Between them, they've got experience recruiting in pretty much every part of the creative professions. I started by asking Daniell how important good grades are.
Some very traditional companies will still look at particular qualifications, but ideas and creativity is about diversity. You won't get diversity by being so one-dimensional.
There's a lot of emphasis on having added value when you go to university and before you start applying for jobs. The year out, all the clubs and societies. How important are they?
I think it's absolutely crucial. The reality is that any number of experiences, either voluntary or paid, or work experience, can actually give you skills that are very easy for you to transfer into other opportunities. So working in a team, managing relationships, organising things, or planning and organisational skills, all of these are elements that you can then sell longer term to a future employer.
Sorts of questions you're going to be asked at interview are going to be things like talking about team working experiences, about working under pressure, working to deadlines. If and around your college life you have been on work experience, worked on voluntary projects and so forth, then it's going to add to those experiences you can talk about in interview.
Isn't it going to look a little bit silly? Say you want to work in radio and you've been on student radio or you've done hospital radio. Doesn't that look a little bit geeky?
I think a lot of students think they are geeky and that's why they don't do it, but it's fantastic experience. There's so many things you can do at college. Nowadays, there's student TV, there's student radio, there's student magazines, newspapers, there's events organising positions. It's all great experience that's going to add to your CV and give you stuff to talk about in your interview. It's really important to add that obviously not everyone goes to university and there's lots of organisations out there that can help you. Look at their websites and look at the opportunities, the courses, the networking events that they have available for people.
Let's talk about this question about what course to actually take. How important is it to do a course directly related with what you want to do, like media studies?
My advice will always be, if you are going to college or university, study what you are passionate about and what you're really interested in, because you will naturally do better at it.
I've recruited a lot of journalists over the years, and to me, journalism is like teaching. It needs some experience of the world and what else is out there other than just pure journalism.
What about if you aren't a new starter, you've already had a career and you want to move into a creative industry, maybe you're a bit older. How hard is it?
It's exactly the same skills as we've been talking about. Obviously, you need to do some real practical checks like your finance. If you're going to be changing career, you're probably not going to move sideways into the same salary bracket that you're on at the moment. So you do need to do some practical stuff in the background. But otherwise, it's exactly the same skills, trying to get work experience, trying to do networking and researching what's out there.
Are the media and the arts all looking for young, beautiful people? It has that reputation a bit, doesn't it?
Yes, it does have that reputation. I think there are still certain elements of truth in that. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't. However, it's becoming more and more acceptable the longer that we have to work, that people will want to have, 1, 2, 3 different careers and for people to make that transition. And the reality is that we've talked about ideas being the currency in the creative industries. And the reality is that people with experience bring a different depth and a different understanding and a different perspective. And it's when you have people from different backgrounds that come together that you get the most creative and the best ideas. I think it just adds a huge amount of value to the creative industries. If you are wanting to change careers, going and seeing and paying to see a professional careers counsellor is of huge value. They can help you to shape and understand where your skills lie at the moment and where they can transfer and how easily they can transfer. And that will help you with regards to making that transition.
And they can also charge a lot of money. How much do you need to spend on good careers help?
How long's a piece of rope? I think start off by going to see a recruitment agency. You can get some good advice from someone who works in the market that you're going to go into, who can tell you more about the industry, help you work out where your gaps lie and what's transferable, and work out a plan what you need to do and what they would need you to do to take you seriously, to consider you for a role in that area. So I think that's the starting block.
That was a career tutorial conversation with Clare Davies and Daniell Morrisey from Digital Lagos TV.